I am here today in the Castro district of San Francisco, and I wanted to talk to you today from here about a question, and it's a topic I get asked a lot, and that's usually from parents, brothers, sisters, cousins of someone who is in the gay lifestyle, has come out as gay, believes that they're gay. They want to know, what do I do? How do I react? What do I say? In general, I would say it doesn't matter so much what you say, but what you do, or what you're willing to accept. What I mean by that is that a lot of people believe, well, I don't want to hit somebody on the head with the Bible. I don't want to quote the catechism. I don't want to turn them off of Christ or Catholicism or the church. I want to accompany them. But a lot of times when you do that, when you accompany someone, what it becomes is a sort of facilitating. You make it easier for them to stay in the orientation, and you make it easier, you make it possible really for them to stay in the life, because there's really no pushback from anyone. A lot of people will get the advice or do this sort of thing because someone tells them it's the right thing to do. They'll tell the gay person, how they feel. They'll say, well, I am Catholic, I'm Christian. I don't believe in, the homosexual lifestyle. I don't believe in acting out homosexually. Therefore, I'm not going to support you in that, but I love you, and otherwise, they don't talk about it anymore, they drop it. It's sort of, they say it once and they give their piece and they feel like, well, that's enough, and then it's sort of, life goes on as normal, or, as normal as possible. But I don't think that's a good approach, because again, it tends to facilitate the person in the lifestyle, and it tends to confirm them in it. Now, I'm not for shunning people, so to speak, but I think that once someone makes that decision to live as a gay person, I think that comes with certain consequences. I just think at that point, there needs to be a decision of, how much is this person going to be in our lives? Because, a lot of people want to equate, let's say, a bad heterosexual relationship, a bad relationship between a man and a woman, and say between a man and a man. Church documents clearly state that you don't equate, a heterosexual relationship with a homosexual. They're not in any way comparable. Let's say a man and a woman are shacked up. Even they have a child out of wedlock. There is still something infinitely redeemable about that relationship. There's something infinitely good about that relationship that you cannot say the same about a homosexual relationship. There's just nothing good there. There's really nothing good that's going to come out of that. What's going to come out of it is heartbreak, is disease, and death. That's what's going to come out of it, okay? There's just nothing to work with there. That's why I caution people about wanting to accompany that word keeps coming up. I caution you. I just think people, especially in the gay lifestyle, need to be aware that there are consequences for their choices. And if they choose to embrace that lifestyle, that maybe they can't have their family around all the time, or their friends that don't agree with this, that think that they are literally killing themselves, and just don't want to stand by, and do nothing. I think the parable I always go back to, it's probably my favorite thing in the Bible, it's become my favorite thing in the Bible, is the prodigal son. I think at a point you have to be like that father, and you need to say to your son or daughter, you've made your choice, here is your inheritance, goodbye. I love you, the door is always open. I'll always pray for you, but I can't be with you now. I can't go with you. I can't watch you. I can't be silent. And the prodigal son story is just so incredibly truthful, I think, for the gay community. The prodigal son story is so important because probably, just about 2 blocks down the street from here is where things got really bad for me, about as bad as they could possibly get. People were, I'd gone down, things had gotten about as dark as they were possibly going to get for me. I just couldn't go any lower. It was like I was the prodigal son. I was literally with pigs. I was sleeping with pigs. People were just morphing into like swines, and noses were turning into snouts. And it was just becoming like a barnyard. There's no other way to say it. I just couldn't go any lower. And at that point, I knew that something had to change in my life. It just had to. Or I wasn't going to be around any longer. I just was going to be dead. And then I just made the decision to just leave. I just said, this is it. I'm done. I don't want to die here and now like this. And it was just over. And I think every gay person needs to get to their own sort of hell before they say, okay, enough is enough. And for parents to stand by and have to watch that is tough. They don't want to do it. They want to, I don't want to say they want to coddle, but they want to protect their kids. That's just natural. But I think with this gay horror show that people buy a ticket into, you just have to let it run its course, as horrible as that may seem. And the only thing really that's going to save them from that hell turning into damnation is your prayers. That's what's going to save them. You praying for them nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not, being some kind of nice guy, or being someone that doesn't say anything, or is afraid to say something, or is too scared to alienate someone. You need to be the kind of person that is just going to tell the truth every time you see them. It's just going to tell the truth every time you see them. Eventually, they're not going to want to see you anymore. and that'll be the end of it. And it'll be over. The relationship will be kind of over at that point, if not completely over. But a lot of times it just needs to be. They just need to figure it out on their own. Back then, nobody could have dissuaded me from doing what I was doing. It's just what I felt I had to do. I just felt like I needed to do that. I needed to be here. I needed to do what I was doing. And that's just the way it had to be for me. And for a lot of the guys down here, that's just the way it needs to be. Everybody needs to, like I said, get to that place. Now, not everybody has to lay with pigs like I did. I knew people that left after relatively very little bad happening to them, but it was enough. It was enough. Somebody dumped them. Somebody cheated on them. It was just enough. Somebody invited a third guy home. It was just enough. For me, my threshold was pretty low. I had to get really low before I opened up my eyes. But again, just pray for your sons, your daughters, and your brothers and sisters, your cousins and your friends. Pray for them, that they get out of this alive by the grace of God. God bless you all.